tutorial. This time I will make this. I was inspired by a project from adolescents. They make an promo for FX networks, and it seems very interesting. I will go to make the sand and the path that is being created for like chain garden, and that seems very interesting. So we are going to make something like this. We'll go for like sand material and the paths. That's the main target. Let's jump into the project. So we can start with a plane. Let's make it smaller because it is better to start small and then we can scale up. I'm going to make it like 100 centimeter by 100 centimeter. And increasing the segments like maybe 50 by 50. That will give us more options when we make the displacement. So let's bring the stones. Save the project first so that we are in a safe zone. It seems like the texture is missing, but we can figure it out later. Let's have the frame first. Maybe something like this. So, and we'll use Octane for render. Let's set the camera. I want to make it like 45 so that we can have a wider view. Let's fix the focus length so that when we make the focus it's like more obvious for us, but we can easily do it in Octane with a focus click. I mean, that's pretty easy. Yeah, it seems good to me. Let's make the background so that we don't have like extra light when we'll use the HDRI, so that this background can help us to get rid of extra light. Just make it bigger, maybe 2000 by 4000. It's not like something mandatory, but yeah, I think it will help us to have not extra light from the HDRI. We can minimize the subdivision because we don't need it actually. It is just like supporting elements. So I think we are almost done with the setting our scene. We can jump into the Octane and start lighting our scene. Let's check the texture for the gemstones. It seems good to me, but why it is showing black, I don't know. What is no. Okay, now we are good. We have to reload. Just reload. That's fine. Yeah, we are good. We can hide the background planes because that is not so much important. Maybe a little up so that it seems like it is sitting on the ground. Let's have the Octane camera deck and enable the post-processing. Let's have an HDRI to light our scene. I'm using here indoor HDRI, but you can use different one. I'm going to have like some little brighter, and we can change the position of this HDRI according to our taste. Maybe I want the lighting should be from the left side of the scene, so that's why like I'm setting in this way. Maybe we can put some extra light, some area light, to have some accent over the sand and the stone. Let's make it smaller. Something around 22, 15, 14. Yeah, that's fine. And definitely we need to rotate and reposition. By default the intensity is 100. Definitely we need to decrease it. I think around 5 or 6 should work fine. And let's down the temperature to have a reddish color, so that it matches with the sand color a lot. And make another ambient light just to give some ambient to our scene, and this time it will be less powerful, around 1, and maybe little bluer than the accent light. And let's reposition it. So HDR is doing the main lighting for us, but with the area light we can have some accent or like emphasize over the scene to have the feeling, okay, the light is coming from this direction, so that it looks much interesting, and it should match with the HDRI shadow. Otherwise it will look weird. So that's why we put our accent area light the left side, so that shadow comes from the left side. And I really like the shadow on the stone. So I think our lighting is basically this. Now we can move to the main part, like the text. Let's have Octane object tag, just to be on the safe zone. It's not important, but yeah, we can. For the texture, I have used a sand texture from my collection. So this the main 3 channels I need to make the material. And for the like displacement of the lines, we will create the lines in After Effects. The texture 4K, so that's important, so that we can have details. Let's have all the textures. It is normal. We need to rescale. Let's connect all together, so that once we change, then it will be translated on other textures. We need to work on the color correction for the material, because it seems too deserty. We need to reduce the saturation to have the natural sand color. Let's do that. Maybe more, around Yeah, it's maybe around 2. Change a gamma a little bit. Yeah, it seems better. And maybe a little exposure. You can change according to the color of your texture. It's pretty easy and straightforward in Octane. I really like this color correction node. This is our fun part. So now we'll need to create the texture for the path. So we'll jump into the After Effects for that, because we'll create the lines for that. Okay, we can remake it. Just have a background. It's like 50% gray. So we can rename it BG. And now we can create the lines. So I am making a circle here because that's easy. But you can make any lines you want, and you can create the paths, and you can also animate those paths. So that's totally up to you. For the tutorial sake, I am doing the easy one, the circle one. Let's increase the brush size, maybe around 40, and the hardness down to very hard, so around 10 or 8. Path, so this time we can rename it B. Oops, we have to make it untransparent so then we can have both lines. As the B has a little more radius, so we can give it a little bigger size. And now if we take this texture, let's check how it looks like, because I'm sure it will not look good to me. At least we don't want something like that. But we can check how we can improve the details of those lines to give it more realistic look. So now we are not, we're seeing it everywhere because the value is too much. Maybe we can do just like 1, and maybe it's too bigger. We have to scale down a little bit, I think. Okay, maybe 0.5 works fine. And see, the things are not details, lines are details. There's the reason of texture. I mean our After Effects file is 4K, so page is 4K. So if we give it 4K resolution, then it's better. Now we see it has more details. Let's have some rotation to match our test. We want that lines are coming from the left, and if we animate it, they are going from left to right, and that's why our light is also from the left, so that we can have more focus on the left side, just like to give some compositional interest. Now we will give more details to our lines, to our paths, so that it does look more realistic. Let's do that. For that we can use roughen edges, so it will give us some details. For the first part we will use rusty and border to 0, and we can change the value. We can just do some experiment, whatever suits you. As more time you spend in making this texture, the final output will be more realistic. So just copy paste to other layers, and let's see how does it look now. Version 2. Let's update the texture. See, it's little better. We have some more details now, but we are not happy with this. We want more, definitely more. So this is a thing, like with this simple adjustment we can make more details. We can add more details in our texture. Okay, let's do that. Now we'll add more details on the lines. Copy line A. This time brush size maybe 25, and everything, I think everything is good. Same for our second line, 25, and darken a little bit so that we can have more depth into the line. So it's too much. 20, 40, yeah. Okay, and we can go further detail. Maybe we can add another layer, but let's check it before that, how it looks like now. See, the second layer is adding more depth into the line. This way we can make it much more interesting. Let's do it. Add another layer. Maybe this time it is around 12, and maybe 18, 20, 18. Okay, maybe spiky, that will give us more jagged lines, and scale up it a little bit. We can work on this a lot. It depends on the time. You can spend more time and back and forth check how does it look. And same for the let's see. And make it spiky so that it gives us some extra details. We can add some Gaussian blur with that so that it blends a little more with one another. And when we go for animation, this is important because this spike things can give a little jerk. In that case, this blur can help a lot to avoid this. And if you want to make animation, like you need to be careful about these spiky lines. Maybe you have to check your animation because there can be some jerk on those lines. So in that case, you can play with the parameters or blur, and definitely that will help because it will reduce the noise. And let's give it as another layer of details. Maybe we can add turbulence displacement to give a little variation over all the lines, but very slightly. But let's make it around 8 or 10. Maybe this time will be fine. It is our 4th version. You can do more if you have time, but this is the way. It will be super helpful. Let's update the texture, version 4. Let's see. Now we have more depth, more details. Maybe we can reduce the displacement a little bit. Okay, we can give a little more depth to the scene. We can duplicate the stone and place on some other places so that we can have a feel that there are some other stones nearby. And in that case, in that way, we can add some more depth into our scene. Maybe another one. I think the shadow from these stones give us more realism and extra depth into our scene. I love it. Maybe we can change the color for this, though it is not important, but it is easy to do. And we can give some depth of field. I really love this focus button. It is easy to select the focus area. In this way, we can let's check. I like it. It looks more natural, definitely. Let me know how do you like it, and if you feel any problem let me know in the comments. I will be happy to answer the questions, and if you have any suggestion, always welcome. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the details we have right now. See, depth of field with little details, it feels like the sands are being out because of the stroke of those sticks. Okay, hopefully you have enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel. It will help me a lot, and thank you. See you on another tutorial. Thank you. Bye.